Let's just start from the type of the software that we means which we left in the last class. That was the system and application software. So right now today, our focus of the class would be the type of the system software. Hello, yeah, good afternoon. Who was saying that? Okay, so we are just starting it from the system software. System software, that is the operating system. Okay, I'm quickly going to present my screen so everybody can see what is going on there, and what I'm pointing on. Okay, so this was the plan I posted for this week. This is this week's plan on Google Classroom. You can easily find it. You can easily find this, right, in which we have the same things that we had in the last lesson plan. The very important things are the learning objectives, booting, functions of and types of operating systems, operating system interfaces, and importance of shutting down the computer systems, right? So this the week beginning 8th June till the 12th June, we had this week 2 of this June. Okay, in the main body I have included here some links to some videos and to some documents, online documents, so you can easily go and read it if you want something in the detail, which if it is not clear in this class, even after that you can go to those links, right? And you can go through all the links to have the better understanding, to have deep understandings to the topic. Work to be submitted, the same thing here. A vocabulary list, key vocabulary, the short description would be asked on the assessment link here with a deadline of 12th June. Everything is present here in this lesson plan. Okay, moving on to yes, Jamima, already done. Okay, very good. If you have submitted the assignment, but as no, the link is not timed. This is not the timed link because this is the assignment, right? If once you register yourself, you can have that means hours, right? Hours, or even if you can write something over there, half of the complete half of it, and you just close it and come again to that link with the same email address and same name and all, and you'll get the same page again, right, which you filled it half. Okay, Naba, sir, I'm done with the assignment. Okay, those who have done it, that's very good, but in the as we discussed in the last class, that assignment should be submitted after this online class. Means whenever you have the online class, every week we have on Thursday 12 p.m. After the completion of this class, it's recommended to submit that assignment after this class, because some things would be maybe you're struggling with some things and which is not clear, and after this class hopefully those assignments, because you'll have the whole Thursday and Friday after this class too, right? So don't be in a hurry, just be sensible. Okay, so now starting it now, 11th June, let's this air 7 week 2, we're starting this. with the operating system. So the operating system, if we talk about this operating system, so what can you understand, what do you know about that operating system? Yes, Alian, anything which is bothering you?
Sir,
Yep.
I asked Hasham to log in,
Hmm.
and he logged in with the wrong account because this entire time I was WhatsApping him on how to get on.
Okay, yeah, I can see him with Ender King and all, with some sort of this name, yeah, and yeah, that's right. Uh, we should log in with our official or original names account at least, right? Thank you so much. Okay, we were actually talking about the operating systems. Operating systems short form is OS. What does that mean? Naba just wrote in the chat. Operating system uh, acts as intermediate between the user and machine. Very good. That's basically the intermediate medium, right? Right, Wafika. Very good. It manages the hardware and the software, and the short form is OS. Very good. Anything which is, if we can add on to that? Rehan, OS is what basically controls and operate the hardware of the computer. Right. That's basically the part. That's the part you're talking about. The partial contribution of operating system, which controls and operates the hardware of the computer. Yeah, that's the one functionality of operating system. But as a whole, if we can talk about the operating system, so that can be called the backbone of the computer system also, because without having operating system of your computer, if you're not having an operating system in your computer system, so your computer system will not work. Just consider your means the scenarios like you are having a laptop or computer system and you are just turning it on, and it does not have any operating system like Windows 7, like Windows 8.1, like Windows 10, right? If you don't have any of these operating systems, any of the windows here in your computer system, in your laptop, so would you able to work on that? Yes or no? Yeah. Shaik, yeah, no, we cannot work, obviously, because that's why we call it operating system. The something which is able to operate your system, which controls your system. So everything which is going on inside your computer right now, even if you are using a laptop, if you are using your mobile phones even, so operating system has the huge contribution right now in your device. So everything you see, it's going through the operating system. Rehan Adnan, fun fact, yeah, an operating system is too hard to make. Pakistan has to rely on other countries. Yeah, even most of the developed countries are relying on the other countries to make the operating systems for us. That's not so hard to make, but uh, it needs some extra intelligence to make that operating system, right? We'll read. Okay, we. Okay, thank you for the addition here, Alian. Okay, moving on. So basically, it what are if we if I can write here about operating system, so I would actually write Okay, is it clear now, or I need to add it something to it? Yeah, okay. Okay, so it manages and controls the entire computer system, right? This is the type of system software, right? Who is this? Okay, that's all fine now. All right, moving on. After operating system, inside the operating system, what are some functions of these operating system? The first one uh, that we can consider is booting. Booting. Who is going to tell me what is booting or boot of a computer system?
Sir, booting is when you shut down the computer and you turn it on and it gets booted. That's called reboot, right?
Right, right, Maisha, very good. Okay, so yeah, that's right. Booting is basically when you start the computer. Shahik, very good. Jamema, the process of starting the computer, shutting down or restarting the computer. Alian, that's not booting. That's not booting. If you're shutting down the computer, that's not booting. Okay, booting is practically starting, shutting down, or restarting the PC. Yeah, basically. But if we talk about the boot means to start the computer, right? If you are restarting, so that can be means you're restarting the computer. So somehow it contributes the word booting inside it, because if you shut down the computer and restart it, so it reboots your computer system. So that's why we call it it's starting, and restarting means to reboot your computer system. But basically computer the boot are of how many types? Can you tell me the types of the boot?
Sir, two types?
Yeah, two types.
Booting and
Maisha,
rebooting?
Maisha, I would appreciate if you use the chat portion here instead of
Yes, sir.
mics. Okay, cold and warm, very good. Starting from the cold. What is cold boot? I'll tell you the cold boot, and you can add your answers to the chat. Thank you. I'm reading it. Cold boot, and we have when the computer is started cold. Very good, Wafika. Means if your computer is switched off and you turn on the computer with the power button, that's called the cool boot. Cool boot is when your computer is when it is off and you turn on it. That's a cool boot. And the warm boot is restarting the power button when it's on. It's still on. If it is on. Okay. So warm boot is when the computer is on and you press the restart button, or you actually restart the computer. At that time, all the all the data and all the things which are going on in your computer system right now would be revert back to the original position, means would be off, and computer will get itself the power off, the means the computer will be powered off, and it will restart the computer. So at that time, means at that particular situation can be called the warm boot, right? And the cold boot is normal. If your computer is turned off and you turn it on, that's called cold boot. Cold and warm we can also understand by the words cold and warm. Cold means when the machine is not working, that can be cold, right? When the machine is working, so it somehow it produces some heat, so that's warm, right? So when you turn on that, at that time when it is off, so it can be, the machine would be cold. Cold means off, right? Warm means still working. Am I clear to all? All right. Okay, Alian, you wow, sir, I have a question. There one can we Alian, can you keep this question for a while, that we can talk about this later after the completion of these topics. Okay, thank you. Okay, so after booting we have the process of booting. How what does that mean, booting of your computer? Obviously you call it turning on your computer system, but what happens when the computer boots up? Okay, I'll allow Mustafa Khan. Mustafa Khan, can you speak up? Mustafa, are you there? Okay, all right. You don't have a mic. No problem. Okay, so the process of booting. What does that mean? Process of booting. Jemima, you wrote it very correctly. The operating system loads into RAM. Very good. All the data of your operating system means it is present inside your secondary memory, inside your hard disk. Inside your hard disk, all the data of operating system is present inside the hard disk. When it is extracted out to load that data to the RAM, to the primary memory, to the RAM, so we call it, that's the booting, right? The whole process is when the computer system, when you turn on the computer system, means when you turn on the power button, right? All the data which is present, the operating system basically is present inside your secondary memory, inside your hard disk, right? Inside of your hard disk, all the data would be extracted out and would be loaded. All the data would be loaded to the RAM, to the primary memory. So you can also say that what is booting? Transferring all the data or loading all the data from secondary memory to primary memory. That's called booting. Okay, so when you turn on the computer, the BIOS is working. What's that BIOS? Do we all know that BIOS? As soon as the computer is turned on software called BIOS begins to run. Very good. Yeah, Zainab. Who is this No Ender King? BIOS. Don't you know what BIOS is? Are you all having the textbooks? Those who are not having their textbooks, it is recommended, means you all must have the textbooks. As we everyone grab your notebooks, oh sorry, the textbooks. Okay, who said this? BIOS stands for balanced input output devices. Yeah, it can, in some books we have the balanced input output devices, and in some books we have basic input output devices. Basic input output systems, right? Balanced, or you can say basic too. Basic input output systems, right? Okay, now moving on. So that BIOS basically the very crucial part in order to turning on the computer, in order to boot up the computer system. So now okay, that's all we have in this, I guess, booting and BIOS. We can also read it from the book if you want something in detail. Let's talk about the functions of the operating system. Functions. Quickly, everybody write the functions of the operating system, then I'll write it here and I'll explain. The functions of operating system. Housekeeping, very good. I'm writing housekeeping. Okay, and device management. File management, process management. Memory management. Very good, all of you, for your contribution. Okay, so starting from housekeeping, the very first one, housekeeping means to if our operating system, that's basically the functions of operating system. Operating system does all these things to our computer system, into that computer system. So housekeeping is basically keep all the operations of the computer, like the protection, the securities, and if we allow some backups to the computer system. So software has ability to make the backups of your computer system. All the accounts means account details. If you're logging with your different accounts, so you add the accounts in the operating system. I'm giving you just the example of this housekeeping services. So if you are using your Android phone or any phone, you go to the settings and you add any account to sync the contacts with it. If you are using, like I was using Android phone, right, then I had a Gmail address, Gmail ID, so I added the account in my iPhone to sync the contact with the previous contact of the ID of the Gmail account to that new phone, right? So this can also be Mustafa Khan, why? Okay, so this will allow us this is built in the operating system, right? So if you want to similarly, if you want to have a backup of it, so we can also go to the settings of the backup and we can easily do that. So that's basically the functionality of the operating system, which is built in the operating system. Okay, moving on. The device management. All the devices which are connected to the computer system, input output devices. It basically manages all the devices. It has all the information of every device which is connected to the computer system. So operating system has the checkup of those devices too. File management. File management basically you can say if you are saving anything to your computer system, right, and anything if you see on in your computer system, so my operating system has all the required knowledge, all the required information of that file, where it is present in the memory, where have you brought this file to the computer system. So my operating system has a control on this too. So we basically call it file management, or the data management. File can be as the data, as we can be taken as the data. So if we want to understand this file management, so that's basically the files in your computer system, whatever the files you have. So my operating system has all the management of it. Means from where have you brought this, and where are you going to save this file, and where it is saved right now. Moving on, process management. Process, as we all know that whatever you are doing in your computer system, in your mobile phone, in your any electronic device, so the processes are going on at all the conditions, at all the point. A lot of processes are going on, which we can't see. We can see it with the task manager. If we can go to the task manager, and we can see the processes, right, like all the things which are going on right now. Means I have several tabs here going on. I have this Google Meet here, and one PowerPoint presentation here, and I have some files also, all the utilities also here. At the right bottom you all can see all these features. So everything is going on, all the processes are going on in the computer system. So my operating system has a check on all these things. Memory management. Memory management means if we have memory, what we are talking about the memory, like RAM, the primary memory, RAM, right? We have limited memory of the RAM, and we need to work, my computer will work on this the limited memory to make our computer useful, to make our computer work, right? So my operating system basically assign the memory according to the priority of the software, or according to the priority of the processes. Means how much memory should be given to any process. So that's basically the memory management, and that's the feature of operating system too. Means if any application needs a lot of memory, so my operating system will assign means the large amount of memory to that process, to that application to run. Like if I work on Photoshop, and if I work on MS Office, MS Word, so obviously my MS Word will take less amount of memory, and my Photoshop is taking a lot of the huge amount of memory. So that can be controlled, that can be assigned, that will be assigned by the operating system. That's why we call it memory management, is the function of the operating system. Am I clear till now to everybody? Yes or no? Okay, so if you have any queries, anything, so you can write it in the chat. As you go along, you all can see I'm reading I'm reading the chats, right? Okay, moving on to the next part, that type of an operating. What are the types of the operating systems? Okay, the types of the operating systems. Single user and multi-user. Very good, everybody, those who have contributed. Single user and multi-user. All right, so these are saying that the three most common operating systems: single user and multi-user. Three most common graphic user. Oh, you're talking about Bafika, you're talking about the interfaces, that's graphical user interface and all. So we are talking about here, no, graphic user is not basically that's the interface, right? We have only two types of operating system according to our book: single user and multi-user. Single user, which we are using right now, which we only use for individual purposes, right? Like Windows 10, Windows 8.1, Android, iPhone, we are using those operating systems. So these are the single user, for individual users, right? Windows, Android, iOS, right? These are the single users. Now if we talk about the multi-users, so multi-users are basically made for the several people around. Specifically use the computer. Yes, Maisha, yeah, you are right. Only one computer. Oh, only one person can use that computer. That's right. Single user. Okay, multi-user means if we have the several users to the same computer, like in the banks, they have their different terminals, but the computer is same. Like the big organization where the people work on the very limited resources, like in the have you all gone to those supermarkets and all? Imtiaz, right? Nahid and all. You see the cashiers sitting in front of the computer systems, right? But it has only one computer system, which is allowing the several users, which is allowing the resources to be distributed among several users. So that the whole thing can be called the multi-user, right? The operating system which we have inside it, that is the multi-user operating systems, right? And I'm giving you the examples. That is Unix, that's a multi-user. Windows NT, Windows okay Windows NT, and we have Windows Server too. So we make a server and we allow everybody to we have several computers linked to that. Masha, search multi-users when you have a business or something that when everyone has to use the same computer. Yes, Masha, very good. Yeah, mostly it is used in thank you so much for coming back, Mustafa. Okay, when you have the business, multi-users are used there. As I told you, Imtiaz is the business environment, like bank is the business environment, right? So everyone is using the same computer, the same resource, the same thing on their computer system. So that's why we use the multi-user system to work on the specific part or specific feature, and that's the only thing the computer can do if you are using that multi-user operating systems, and which is controlled by one computer, one administrator. Okay, is it clear till now? All right, moving on. Operating system interfaces. Now, Africa, we have come to that interface. Interface means interface can be taken as the word interaction. Means operating system, the different types of interactions we have in the operating system. We have most commonly two: CUI, or you can say CLI, and GUI. We have two. Okay, so can anyone tell me that CUI or CLI? Graphical user. Okay, I'm talking about the CUI and CLI. CUI, the character user interface. Or you can say command line interface. Character user interface or command line interface. Okay, so character user interface, right? CUI is the way for users to interact the programs of computer. Okay, so the person has to type the commands to do a particular action. Very good, Jemima. So see, you are a graphical user interface, right, Maisha? That's the graphical user interface that we are using. Person need practice. Okay, Shahik, where's the short form and full form? Is character user interface. All right, you all have added everything to it. And now, okay, I'm just quickly coming to that. Okay, Zainab, in the CUI, the user has to type and perform the specific action, right? That's correct. Very good, everybody. To give command to do something, Maisha, yeah, you have to give commands to it. Okay, so basically that's that can be considered as the old user interface, that is CUI and CLI. Normally the users right now, like us, don't prefer the the command line interface. Why? Because it needs a lot of memorization of the commands. We need to, it's hard also, it's complicated. We cannot say hard, it's complicated, Rehan. Yeah, it is complicated to use because of the several long commands that we need to memorize, right? We can't memorize all the things, all the commands. So previously, when we when the user did not have this GUI, graphical user interface, so people worked with the long instructions, long command which needs to be memorized, and they basically filled some registers with the commands. Means if you want to do any specific command, so we have the command for it. Anything which we need to perform, we had a different command for it, and we need to write that command to the computer system, then it will work. Like have you all used the DOS box or the QBasic or something? Okay, no problem. Yeah, Maisha, that's a bit difficult. Going to all right. As you all can see this image, these blue and black environment here, this is CUI and CLI, if you can say. In this that was the whole environment of the computer previously. We did not have we did not have any cursor, we did not have any buttons, we did not have any images even. We had only this type of environment which is able to work. That's the whole computer system, right? And we call it MS DOS. Even if you are uh, if you are working with the QBasic, that's also the CLI or CUI. That's character user interface or command line interface. What is the difference? That the command line interface is very fast, right? Very fast means very processing would not take so much effort of the computer system, right? But it's not very interactive like GUI, graphical user interface. Whatever we are using right now is graphical user interface. We have some buttons, cursors. We can use everything which is given. Yeah, just right, Jamima. Right, Jamima. It's a GUI that the user can perform the task by just a mouse click. It's very easier to learn. Yeah, you just need to know the steps. Where would you click? Where would you go with that computer, with your mouse or with your anything, right? So that's very easy, but comparatively a bit slower than CLI or CUI, because it has some more things into it, right? Very good. A 5-year-old, even less than 5-year-old, because we have some kids around us at the age of 3 or 4. They can easily use the mobile phones. They can easily use. They can easily surf the YouTube and all, right? So that's very easy. Moving on. The importance of shutdown. The last thing which we need to discuss. What happens when you shut down your computer system? Who is going to tell me that? Okay, Ender King. What's your name, Ender King? Hasham. Okay, Hasham. Okay, Hasham, you can tell me that what happens if you shut down your computer properly? What happens?
Shall it take a little bit less energy, electricity, I mean?
Okay, if you shut down your computer properly, it takes the less.
It will shut down all the apps.
Yeah, actually, it will. The all the apps will be. Thank you, Hasham. You can turn off your mic. You can mute your mic.
Thanks.
Thank you. Yeah, when you shut down your computer, it closes all the apps, all the processes which are currently going on in your computer system. What happens if you shut down, or if you close all the apps properly? So it will go to their initial positions, initial location, and would not stuck in between, and would not have any chances to have the data loss, right? If you don't shut down your computer properly, so we have a lot more chances to have the loss of the data. So that's why it's very important to have the proper shutdown to the computer system, because the data you see is it has come from the secondary memory to the primary memory, as you all can see from the primary memory, means in the RAM. So if you don't shut down your computer and you just plug the power off to your computer system, what happens? It basically needs some time to go from primary memory to the secondary memory, right? All the data. So it is, if you shut down your, if you don't shut down your computer, you just plug the power off, so it would be in between primary memory and secondary memory. So there are a lot of chances to have the data loss if we sometimes window crashes, sometimes it takes a lot of time to reboot your computer system with the message that your computer did not have the proper shutdown, and it is just taking time to initialize. Just wait for it. Yeah. Okay. Maisha, you have a question. People, all the computers did not have mouse, so they do the work. Okay, Maisha, they did not have any mouse in CLI and CUI. They had a keyboard only, from which they write the commands and they press enter to run those commands, right? And the computer will perform according to those commands which is present inside the computer previously when it is made by the manufacturers. Right now, but the data would be lost, will be damaged, memory usage, and yeah, damaged files, something won't save. Yeah, Alian, that's also the very crucial thing, that if you are working with anything and you haven't saved it, you turn the power off, or maybe with a problem of a battery in the laptop, with any electricity problem, the data would not be saved and it will have a lot of chances to have a data loss. We don't shut down laptops, there are chances of data loss. Okay, Maisha, very good. Okay, so that's the that's all for this for these topics today, for this week. So again, the assignment submission, as we all know already how to submit it, and but I'll tell you again, just 2 minutes. That's the assessment link. If you go to that lesson plan in the Google Classroom, you will see this lesson plan and the assessment link. If you click that link, you have the access in the next step to the Flexi quiz. Here you write your name, okay. So here we have the 3 questions. The first one is the key vocabulary list. You can see at your lesson plan, multitasking, BIOS, boot, CLI, GUI. All these things should be explained here with a short description, right? And all these 2 questions. Once you complete this, then you can submit it and it would come to me. Nobody is allowed to send your assignment to my email address. All right, because we don't want the assignments on the emails, right? So go to that assessment link and do it in the assessment link. Yeah, Nabat, yeah, I got your assignment. Thank you.